And this is one of the reasons why Amazon keeps trying to move the ball, and they keep saying, oh, no. It's not Amazon Marketplace and its competitors. It's e-commerce that's important. Or it's not even e-commerce, it's retailing that's important.
Alrighty, welcome back. Welcome back to the Amazon Conversation Podcast. Today, I am here with Dr. Professor Erickson. He is my father. That is why we have the same last name. So, Dr. Erickson, thank you so much for being here again. He has been here on, half a dozen podcasts before. So, this is yet another one, another feather in your cap. So, thank you so much for being here.
Always happy to come on.
Why don't you tell people a little bit about why your expertise is relevant to our conversation today?
Well, I've been a professor at New Mexico State University for 35 years, and I'm also department head of the Department of Economics. And over those 35 years, I've studied the economy in detail, of course. And my specialty is a course called Money and Banking, which is about the interaction between the banking system, the Federal Reserve System, financial markets, and the overall economy. It's a subdivision of macroeconomics.
Nice. I love it. So you are a legit professor at a legit university with a legit degree and a legit dad. So thanks so much for being here.
That's right. I'm very legit.
Sweet. Cool. Alrighty. So today, again, we were having a conversation and I thought, oh man, this is a really good Amazon conversation. We need to record this. Stop talking. We're going to turn the mics on. We're going to get this recorded down because I know that everyone's going to love hearing about this. Today, we're going to talk about whether or not Amazon is a monopoly, and subsequently, if they are a monopoly, whether they should be regulated and be forced to basically open up lessen the restrictions on us sellers. So why don't you first tell us what a monopoly is? Is it a board game with a little dude with a little top hat in it?
It is a board game with a little top hat. It's not a very good board game, but it's a board game. But I played it lots. I enjoyed it when I was a kid. So a monopoly, according to Merriam-Webster, is a company that occurs when a single company controls the market for a product or for an area. And of course, by that definition, Amazon is not a monopoly.
So one company controls the entire market for a certain area and a certain niche, basically?
Well, a certain area or a certain product, yes.
Certain product.
Certain
okay.
Market.
Okay, interesting. So I guess the definition, it's then like, what is a product and what is a certain area, right?
And what is a market too?
And what is a market?
Yes. And so Amazon is not literally a monopoly because they compete with Walmart online. They compete with a number of different outlets. Target is online. Any of a number of different companies. eBay is another example. Even the Apple App Store is a competitor with Amazon for online retailing. But the real question is, does Amazon have monopoly power? That is, can they use their power in the marketplace to force to prevent other companies from competing against them and thereby divert profit from others to themselves? And there, I think you can make the argument that Amazon is a monopoly.
Ah, interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
The rule of thumb the FTC uses is a 50% market share is a company that prima facie has a lot of market power. So 50% is the cutoff used by the federal government, Federal Trade Commission.
50% of what?
50% of the market. And of course, of what defines the market? That's a good question. So Amazon wants you to believe, and they say this in a lot of press releases, and it's out in Amazon blogs, and it's all over the internet, that the market is retailing. And even if you say e-commerce or online retailing, Amazon is pretty small. But I would argue that from the point of view of the people listening to the show, that the real market, or the real market is, ironically, the real market is for the marketplace itself. And so, Amazon has Amazon Marketplace, Walmart has something similar. And of course, eBay is all about retailers having access through eBay. And those, and when you look at that slice of the market, actually, Amazon Marketplace by itself is just short of 25% of the e-commerce business, just short of 25%. And so that's big. So the Amazon Marketplace is bigger than Walmart, bigger than eBay, bigger than all the other ones put together. I'm just doing the addition real quick. All the other ones that are on my list put together, which is the top 10.
The numbers that I've seen that Amazon's been 50% of all of e-commerce retail, online retail for a long
This is
time.
US. That's US e-commerce, and the number I saw that I think is pretty definitive was 41.4%, which I'm going to round off to 40%. So Amazon Marketplace is just short of 25%. Amazon Retail is about 16%, and then it drops way off of Walmart around 7%, and eBay below 5, and all the rest below 5.
I guess it depends on how you define it, because I'm looking at, if I just Google Amazon share of e-commerce in the US, and all these articles are saying 50%, 60%, 57%. Well, I guess there's
I
some
think that's
saying.
well. I stand by my numbers. No,
Okay.
I looked it up this morning.
These are kind of sketchy websites I'm looking at, though, so I believe your stuff more than,
Yeah,
eMarketer.com, payment. No, okay, I believe yours. Never mind. These websites kind of look sketchy. Never mind. I believe your number.
yeah. And so, but my point is, if you're talking about providing a marketplace to other retailers, Amazon has significantly more than half of that.
Yep. Yep. And then for us people selling, like from our perspective of where can we sell our stuff, we really have, I mean, here are the options that I have as an e-commerce seller. eBay, I mean, my Shopify. So I have my own website, which honestly is really hard to do. Like, I
Yeah,
know a lot of people who sell on Amazon, and like a lot. I mean, 1,000 people I know that I've talked to and had full Amazon conversations with. No one really does that much on Shopify. I mean, there's like the 1% or the 5% of people who, like, 5% of people might get 20% of their sales from Shopify, but the other 95%, they're like less than 5% of their revenue.
yeah,
So that's very difficult. And then eBay sucks, and they don't even do fulfillment for you. And then Etsy, I've actually had some pretty good success with Etsy. I like Etsy a lot, but for some niches, it's terrible. For us, it's okay, but it gets only like 5%, 3% of our sales. And then Walmart, a lot of people are talking about Walmart, but it's still, when I look at the numbers, they're a 10th or even 15th the size of Amazon, which isn't that big of a deal.
yeah. By the way, in this list of top 10 e-commerce retailers, Etsy isn't on the list. Yeah.
Okay, so what does that mean? So let's assume that Amazon, however you define it, and I'm sure the Amazon lawyers would obviously not define it this way, but let's just go with the assumption that Amazon is a monopoly. What does that imply?
Well, it implies that well, first of all, it's not illegal to be a monopoly, but it is illegal to use your monopoly power to in constraint of trade by others. And in particular, as you've reminded me, Andrew, Amazon says that the customers who buy from you online are their customers, and they tell you you can't contact them directly, which means it makes it harder to drive clients to your own website, that you're not supposed to talk to them and interact with them, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And all that is a constraint in your ability to compete against Amazon.
Absolutely.
And I find it very troublesome that Amazon has this much control, now not over e-commerce in general, but over access to the internet, and which is through Amazon Marketplace, and then again Walmart has some part of that, not a very big part, and Apple I think has that model too to some extent, and on down the list. because they have so much control over that, they essentially have a monopoly position over monopoly power over small commerce, a small business e-commerce.
Us, because the people who are listening to this podcast.
The people who are listening to this podcast, yes.
So we absolutely, I'm sure everyone right now is saying, duh, of course they have all the power and all the control over us. So like everyone's like, yes, 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 absolutely. Okay. So let's also go with that assumption that yes, they absolutely control us and we do it in such a way that we can't compete with them.
Exactly.
What does that mean?
Yeah, well, that means that's illegal. That's referred to as constraint of trade, and it's illegal. Now, I gotta say, before I say it's illegal, I am not a lawyer, and nor do I ever want to be a lawyer. In fact, I became an economist so I wouldn't have to become a lawyer to make a living. And the law here is very complicated, but on the face of it, if you control more than half the market, and I'm defining the market as the Amazon marketplace and its competitors, if you control more than half the market and you are using your power in the marketplace to inhibit the ability of others to compete, that is illegal under U.S. law, as I understand.
All right.
And this is one of the reasons why Amazon keeps trying to move the ball, and they keep saying, "Oh no, no, no! It's not Amazon Marketplace and its competitors. It's e-commerce that's important, or it's not even e-commerce. It's retailing that's important." Yeah, yeah, we're competing with other retailers. That's our market. Yeah, yeah. Look over here. The ball's over here under this walnut shell, not under that walnut shell. Kind of a sleight of hand.
Interesting. So do you think then? I mean, let's say that legislators and other people start agreeing that Amazon is having monopolistic powers over us. What does that mean? Are they going to start? I mean, would legislators potentially start like breaking them up or like passing laws saying you can't stop us from messaging the customers and stuff like that?
Well, they wouldn't. You wouldn't have to pass a law. There already is a law, but you'd have to have regulatory action, and the FTC is who does the regulatory action.
Should we like rally together and get 1,000 Amazon sellers to call the FTC to help us?
I don't think that's a bad idea. Or hire a lobbyist, form an organization, hire a lobbyist.
If we did something like we messaged customers and then Amazon kicked us off the platform for not for doing that, could we? How does that work? Can we sue them to like not do that? Can we? How does that work?
I'm not a lawyer. I'm not going to tell you how that works. But I think on the face of it, it would be something. You can bring private action against antitrust. So you can bring private action against antitrust. So yes, I think that's a possibility. But I got to say over and over again, I'm not a lawyer. But it is. Can Amazon define the market as all of retail? Or is it what I'm saying? No, it's not all retailing we're talking about here. It's the marketplace, access to the market through the website, which is Amazon Marketplace. And there's similar things at Walmart and Apple. And I think eBay is 100% that model.
Interesting. Cool. So we do think that Amazon's monopoly, and we think that there's potentially something we can do about it, meaning we could like lobby the FTC or potentially bring our own whatever. We had to talk to lawyers about that, I guess.
Yeah.
Interesting. Cool. What do you think? What's your prediction of what do you think is going to happen in the next 3-5 years on this topic?
Well, of course, they're both parties, both the Republicans and the Democrats, all agree on one thing, which is that Jeff Bezos and Zuckerman and other, even Bill Gates, although he's more mainstream, they all agree that these people are nerds and they need to be, and no one loves them, and that that they get good politics, they get good press when they criticize them. And the question is, can you push them over the edge from criticizing to actually taking action? And of course, it's often the threat of action is enough to get these retailers and these players in the marketplace to take action to mitigate the potential for regulation.
Interesting. Cool. I think that's a fun hot take. I'm going to start this Amazon conversation in the world.
Yeah.
I want to hear from you, dear listener. You tell me, what do you think? Do you think the stuff that they do to us is monopolistic? And and over controlling and overbearing? And do you think we should do do you think that? I'm thinking everyone's going to say yes. So, but do you think we should do something about it? Yeah. And if we do think we should do something about it, what should we do? I'm going to start that Amazon conversation in the world, and I want to hear back from you guys. Go ahead and if you have this, comment on this podcast or whatever, or send me an email. I want to know. Share this podcast also with your friends or on Facebook or whatever, and ask your friends what you think about this, your Amazon seller friends, because this is an interesting idea, and I could see this really. We have a big enough community. We have hundreds of people who listen to this podcast. We could potentially. I'm going to put it out there. If I can get some, I'm going to put it out there. If I can get some buzz back behind me, I would be interested in continuing this Amazon conversation to talk about what we could possibly do against Amazon together as a collective. So, Dr. Professor Erickson, thank you so much for coming on here. Thank you for giving us this hot take on whether or not Amazon is a monopoly and whether or not we actually, what that means for us as sellers and stuff like that. I guess as individuals, it probably doesn't mean much. We just got to play by the rules, right? We're on their playground. But outside of being on their playground, maybe we should have the people in the audience ask if the refs are playing by the correct rules, right?
Yep, exactly.
Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Professor Erickson. Thank you, Dad, for being here. And thanks for sharing all this information with our audience.
Anytime. And I hope I don't get you kicked off of Amazon for your rabble route.
Oh, it's fine. I'm not scared. Hey guys, if you found value from this episode, I would love if you could tell the world. And if you don't want to tell the entire world, I would love for you to tell iTunes at least. If you can go to iTunes, if you listen to this podcast on iTunes, go ahead and go leave us a review. I have a few here that are amazing that I love to read out. I read every single review that's posted. Go to iTunes, leave a review. Also, Spotify now is allowing ratings. So please go onto Spotify, and it's super easy. You don't even have to write anything. You just hit 5 stars and leave that review. You know, as an Amazon seller, how important reviews are to your business. I am asking you, out of the goodness of your heart, please leave me a review as well. Thanks.